Hello and welcome to another tapobu video. As you may have noticed, I haven't done any League of Legends in a while. Quite honestly, I kind of got bored with the game, and so I've been playing Diablo instead. Not Diablo 3, but Diablo 2. Basically, I'm just going to talk about that for a while because, you know, it's probably been a while since any of you have played it too. As you may have noticed with League of Legends, I like to take games and analyze things we can learn from them, you know, like the psychology of League of Legends. Well, on first glance, it might seem like you can't really get much out of this game, but it really does do some interesting things for you. Like, even a simple game like this can provide a lot to the intellect. For example, this necromancer I'm playing teaches you something about longevity. Every time I leave the game, my army disappears. Every time I rejoin the game, I have the task of remaking my army into something newer and better. And so, on some very small level, you have to learn to let go of the past and, you know, embrace the future a little bit. The revives are the most interesting part of this, because, you know, you get an awesome monster revived, and you want to keep it forever because it's like killing everything. But, you know, after 3 minutes, it's going to be gone. Which way am I going here? Yeah, these maps are okay. And so, that's a little of what the necromancer does. You know, it teaches you to say goodbye to a beloved corpse and embrace another one. Isn't that beautiful? Oh dear. Anyway, there's something about Diablo that just makes you want to play again. It's a game that is designed for the sake of you loving it. You know, I've never experienced a game quite at this level, a game that just makes me want to go back and play it over and over and over again. You know, I'll play it through, get bored of it. A couple years later, I'll get the whim to install it again, and then, you know, 2 days later, I'm completely addicted again. No other game has done that for me. Like, I used to play a game called Shia, and I was, for a small time, one of the best assassins on one of the servers. I would play 8, 9, 10-hour days in an attempt to stay the best, you know. And then after I hit level 50, you know, that was my ultimate goal, to hit level 50, to be the first active assassin to hit level 50, because the other one had retired, and he was no longer leveling. And so I did it. I hit level 50. I chronicled my journey on the forums as a guide. That was actually the first game guide I ever wrote, which was just some small level used until very recently. There was this rather attractive girl gamer who kind of idolized me and used my guide in a bigger guide that she wrote. I was perfectly okay with that. And so that was fun. But after I hit level 50, like, I had achieved my goal, and suddenly it was no longer fun anymore. And you know, I go back and I try to play it once before again, and I couldn't get into it. You know, I got to around level 15, and I was like, this is the most boring, horrible game I've ever played. And I just didn't want to go again. But see, there's something about Diablo, you know, it's not about the end goal. It's more about the journey, you know, and that's especially typified in the concept of the ladder. You know, the ladder, the ladder resets every 3 months, I believe. And so all the progress that you've made disappears, and you get to start again. You know, at first that was a turnoff for me. But now I'm eager to get my friends to install this game so we can do the ladder together. Because there's something so wonderful about, you know, making progress in a game that only lasts 3 months. Like, you know, there were some people who were upset about the idea of the League of Legends ladder resetting. I embrace it. You know, I embrace the chance to start anew. Like, you know, when I used to play the old Pokemon games, the most fun thing, the most nostalgic thing was to start anew and do it better this time. Like, you know, my first Pokemon team sucked. My first Diablo character sucked. I had an Amazon that I leveled like 20 in Jab because I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And then I started to hit like Nightmare. I started to hit Act 4, Act 5, and I just sucked. I sucked. I was horrible. And so I had to start again. But you know what? I was happy to start again because it was about the journey, you know, building something better, something stronger, something that will do so much better than you did before. And every character I build, even now, does infinitely better than past characters. I've never had a Necromancer this successful before. So ask me, how many times have I beaten Andariel? Probably over 200, at least over 100, maybe over 300 times I've beaten Andariel. How many times have I beaten normal mode? Probably around 175 to 100 times. How many times have I beaten Nightmare? Probably not even 50. How many times have I beaten Hell mode? Only with one character, never alone. I've never gotten endgame gear. I've never gotten, you know, a complete character set like the Talrasha set or whatever. I've never gotten any of that. I've always tried to get it, but I've never gotten there. You know, there are some who will buy their gear online because they want to just be the best. That's boring to me, you know. I'd be okay with being the best, but I want to get there. I want to earn it. So each time I start this game again, it's with the ultimate goal of getting amazing gear. But I get so caught up in the journey that I forget about that. You know, I've never built a Necromancer summoner before. I thought it was worthless. But it's so much fun, you know. Like, I never thought that this could handle Nightmare mode. This is Nightmare mode right here. And it's the easiest time I've ever had with it, honestly. It's so much fun. Oh, here's the worst moment of my life. Getting an ethereal unique is just like, I want to die now. And yeah, sometimes they're like, they can't, oh, he died. Sometimes they can't, they all died. They can't be damaged, you know? But then you get the General's Tando Liga that's ethereal, and it's like, oh crap. 2 to 74 damage, and it will survive approximately 7 hits. Oh boy. But like, look at these items I have in my stash. Like, they're not even that good. Juanin's Refuge. I've never seen that item in my life. Colwyn's Point. I've never seen that item in my life. But I want to build a character that can use it, because I've never done it before. I've never used a war sword before. 14 to 35 damage is quite horrible, but I just want to see how it feels to use it. You know, that's a cool thing, like, about all these uniques, you know. Like this Chance Guard, I've never had them before. Like, I only have that one unique in this entire set. Like, look at my armor, it's worthless. I have a staff in here. I'm saving it for a rune word. I've never played with rune words before. I made a rune word on another character. I made a leaf staff, which is +3 to fire skills. I've never done that before. And so even now I'm still learning new ways to do things, you know, that other people discovered long, long time ago. Now ask me how I like Diablo 3. I have Diablo 3. I've played Diablo 3 up to Inferno mode, and then I got sick of it very, very, very fast. See, Diablo 3 is designed in a way quite opposite of Diablo 2. In Diablo 2, it's about the journey. You know, it's about building and rebuilding these skill trees in a million different ways. It's about experimentation, having, you know, childlike joy as you try out a new build and see that it's actually working. Like, you know, it's wonderful. You know, you can honestly say, I'm doing something that no one else has done before. You know, you build that paladin that you put 20 in Holy Bolt just to see how it feels to have 20 in Holy Bolt. And you can say, nobody's ever done this before, and you're probably right. But in Diablo 3, they take the fun out of that. You know, they say these are your skills. You can experiment with them in a finite manner. I mean, there's a finite manner to experimenting with this too, but holy crap, it's as close to infinity as I've ever seen. Like, honestly. And when you get bored of it, you can go to the Median XL mod, which just makes the game infinitely better and infinitely harder. And that's just, you know, it's wonderful. People love this game so much that they recreate it in incredible, groundbreaking ways. But with Diablo 3, there's none of that. And, you know, the items, there's something wonderful about having a million different unique items that you can play with and a million different rune words, you know. The fun, the experimentation never really ends. There's always something better you can have, but you're content with the things that you have now. I am content with this wand that gives +2 to necro skills. In Diablo 3, it's all about discontentedness. You're always unhappy with what you have because you go to the auction house and you see that there is something infinitely better. Not only that, you see that the monsters you're attacking are taking hardly any damage. And so you say to yourself, I have to have something better or I am not going to get any farther in this game. Then all of a sudden you hit Infernal mode and everything is so frickin' difficult. And you say to yourself, I have to have something better. But you don't have the gold to get it. You know, you grind and you grind and you make maybe 2 million gold in Act 1 Infernal. And that takes you 3 hours. And then you see the best items and they cost 16, 17 million, 50 million, 100 million, 200 million. And you say, I just don't have time for that. And so you buy the item with money. And Blizzard profits. And then you have the best items in the game that you spent 10, 20, 30 bucks on. I don't know what they cost. And you have them. And for a short time you're content as you run through Infernal mode ever so easily. And then it gets boring because it's too easy. And it gets boring because you're not getting any of those best items in the game. It gets boring because every time you get something, there's still something better on the market. And so you sell your gear for real life money. And Blizzard makes a profit again off that same loot. And so you put the game aside for a while, and then you decide a few years down the road, I want to try it again, just because Diablo has to have some replay value. And so you reinstall it, and you get to that same point where you have to buy stuff with real-life money. And you notice that there's some money left in your Diablo account from your last endeavors that you forgot to cash in. And so you spend that money on new gear, and Blizzard profits again from your discontentedness. This is a game, this Diablo 2 is a game that is still on the shelves today. Why? Because Blizzard is still profiting from how wonderfully, perfectly content you are with this game. How delighted you are to play it. But in Diablo 3, Blizzard is only profiting from your unhappiness with its game. It's created a game where good items are so scarce that you have to pay for them, that you cannot find a good item. And even if you find a unique, it's so worthless that there's always a better rare out there. And so there's no joy in finding good items like there is in Diablo 2. There's no replay value because of that. You know, years down the road, Blizzard is still going to be selling Diablo 2, but Diablo 3 is going to be off the shelves forever. Because nobody's going to want to replay it. People will be burnt out from the grind of doing the same things over and over again, where it's either way too stinking difficult or way too stinking easy, depending on how much money you've spent. I, for one, don't ever want to go back to Diablo 3, because it's not fun. It's not my idea of fun. And this is. I have no idea if I'm going to survive this encounter. Holy crap, is it going to be fun? And that's all you can really ask from a game. So thank you for watching, and I really hope this convinces you to go install Diablo again, because it truly is a wonderful game. And I am tapobu on battle.net as well, if you have the desire to play with me. I haven't started playing online yet, but I'm going to get around to it soon. So yes, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.